Digital from around the world, the Wespy Awards is our topic for today, specifically the 14th annual Wespy Awards ceremony, which will be held once again at the Giovanni Kubota Club in Windsor on Monday, April 15th, 2019. On behalf of the entire Wespy Committee, I would like to personally thank all of our presenting partners at all levels. Over the past 13 years, these businesses have been committed and generous and have helped to make the Wespys the success it is today. Of course, the task of putting together an event such as this requires many professionals, and I would be remiss not to mention Pat Morris and Newport Sports Management for helping us with our keynote guest. It takes a lot of good people to create an event like the Wespy Awards, and we thank Pat for his belief in our vision. As well, the Windsor-Essex Sports Foundation, an organization that is with us every step of the way. The Wespy Awards have become the premier spring event in Windsor-Essex, not only for the area teams and athletes, but we have been very fortunate and honored to bring to you some amazing keynote guests, and this year is no exception. Before we get to that, I'd like to invite up my friend Royal Church, who is the chair of the selection committee, to say a few words. Royal?
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I'm here on behalf of the Wespy Selection Committee to give people some information on how they can nominate deserving athletes. First of all, welcome on behalf of the committee. I want to let you know that we've met 2 or 3 times so far, getting ourselves organized and lining up some deserving nominees. But my main focus today is to let the people out there in wedigital.ca land know that they can nominate athletes, teams, and coaches anytime they would like to. So if you have a favorite athlete, coach, or team, please feel free to nominate them for this year's Wespy Awards. There are only 2 conditions for a nominee, and they are, first, they must be 15 years of age as of January 2017. Secondly, the athlete must play on a team in an organized league with a board of governors, and of course that has to be in Windsor and Essex County. So that's pretty simple, not overly complicated. All you do is go to the wespys.ca, and on the banner will be a section where it says nominations. Click on the nominations, and you'll be able to input all the information you need to nominate your chosen athlete, team, or coach. And we would encourage you to do that. We've had great participation in past years. Recently, the last few years have been exceptional, but we're hoping to get even more people to get out there and get involved in your sports community and nominate some deserving person for a Wespy Award. The Wespy Awards don't just involve our regular sports awards like hockey, basketball. We have figure skating. Just recently, we have implemented gymnastics into our sports that we give awards for. But we have other awards that people are not as familiar with that the general public are certainly welcome to nominate athletes for. And those are things like the Mickey Renault Captain's Leadership Award, the Athlete of the Year, both male and female, Coach of the Year, Team of the Year, Executive of the Year. There are many, many more, which, of course, if you go to the wespys.ca, you can see all those categories. and which will allow you to have a better perspective of who you'd like to nominate and for what particular award. So once again, thank you to all of you for being here, and the general sporting public, get out there and nominate some a team, a coach, or a deserving athlete from Windsor and Essex County. Thanks again, and season's greetings from the selection committee. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Royal. And as Royal said, it all begins with a nomination, and we always need your help. Once again, Dominic Papa has reached out to the hockey world, and Eric, this year's keynote guest, will continue the legacy of excellence the past 13 years have provided. Eric is from Krillbo, Sweden, and played 20 years in the NHL, being captain of his team for 6 of those years. He holds the record for postseason plus-minus with a plus 61. A 12-time All-Star, 7-time Norris Trophy winner, the first European Conn Smythe winner, and the first European Stanley Cup winning captain, which he hoisted 4 times as a member of the Detroit Red Wings. I called him Eric, but you know him by his middle name, Eric Nicholas Lidstrom. We're very, very fortunate to have Eric Nicholas on a Skype interview. And Nick, are you there? I can see you.
Oh, you got it breaking up on me, but...
oh, there we go. Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
Hi, how are things in Sweden?
Things are well. It's in the low 30s, a little snow in the air, and we're getting ready for Christmas.
All right, very, very good. You're all set? All your Christmas shopping is done?
Not quite.
Okay.
I still have a few more to go. So,
well, get me something really nice, okay? I've already got your gift picked out. Well, good afternoon and welcome to Windsor. Thanks for spending some time with us today. I have a few questions for you before we get to some media questions. What were your thoughts when you were approached to be the keynote guest for the Wespy Awards?
I thought it was fun for me to do. I'm visiting the area anyway, so and this opportunity came up, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meet the and people that are going to win the award.
Well, I know I can't speak for everybody, but I'm really excited that you're going to be here. Do you have any idea how many Red Wing fans are from the Windsor-Essex County area?
There's quite a few over there. I think there's some of them that's been going to Red Wing games for a lot of years. I'm anxious to meet a few of them.
Well, we have a few that other team, that blue team. We won't, TML is their initials. We won't say their name, but I would have to say the Windsor area has more Red Wing fans than any other team because of the close proximity. Playing at Joe Louis, we could go to the river and see where you played hockey for 20 years. With your 20 years in Detroit, have you had much opportunity to spend time in Windsor?
A little bit, not as much. I've been so busy with the schedule and especially traveling and playing so many games. But I've been over there a few times with some people from Sweden.
Well, I know the people of Windsor-Essex are going to be really happy to have you here and hear your story at the 14th Annual Wespy Awards. Last question from me. The Wespy Awards is all about recognizing athletes and teams for the successes and contributions to their particular sport. How important do you think being recognized is?
I think it's very important to get the recognition for something that you've accomplished, whether it's a player or as a coach or being involved in sports. So I'm sure the people that are nominated are very excited to get the recognition.
Well, looking at all of the accolades that you've received thus far, I was doing some homework to kind of brush up on some of your stats. And I think you'll have a lot to share with some of the athletes of ways to train and ways to be successful in your particular sport because you certainly have been successful. We're very fortunate to have some members of local media here today, and one of them is Steve Bell from CKLW AM 800. He's one of our local sports experts, and I'm sure Steve has a couple of questions for you. So, Steve, if you will make your way over to the microphone. And Nick Lidstrom, Steve Bell. Steve Bell, Nick Lidstrom.
Hi, Nick. First of all, congratulations. The Wespys, it really is one of the best sporting events of the entire year here in Windsor, Essex. If you had to narrow it down, and I know it's like picking a favorite among kids, it's difficult to do, but do you have a favorite moment with the Red Wing? And I know between winning all the cups, is there one moment that you always kind of have in your mind that sticks out as your greatest moment as a Red Wing?
Well, the first time we won it back in '97 was very special. The team had won it in 45 years. I remember during the parade, people would come up and almost cry and thank you for bringing the Stanley Cup back to the city. So that was very special. The last one in '08 was special too, especially being the captain, European captain, and able to win the Stanley Cup. On a more international field, I would say the Olympics, get the gold medal in the Olympics in 2006. That was special too. We had some disappointments in the past, and finally being able to win those things was very special.
I was going to say, too, one of the secrets to your success was staying healthy so long, and the game has changed somewhat now. It doesn't appear to be nearly as physical. There's not nearly the amount of fighting as there was, 10, 12, 15 years ago. But how did you manage to, take care of yourself and stay healthy for so many years?
Well, I took a lot of pride in being ready to play a long season. I took care of myself in the off season. I trained hard, and I knew that was important for me to be able to play 82 game season and then hit the playoffs. So that's something I was very conscientious about. And that's the style of play that I played as well. It was a forward physical defense, but if I tried to play my position right, then I knew I was going to get a lot of ice time from the coach. So I knew I had to kind of pick my spots when to join the rush and be an offensive threat too. But I think the main thing for me was taking care of myself in the offseason, my training. Something I took very seriously.
Well, thanks, Steve. Appreciate the questions, and thanks, Nick. We have another member of media here. We have Josie from We Digital to have a couple of questions for you.
Hello, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us today. So out of curiosity, you've accomplished so much over your career, but is there any one accomplishment that stands out the most to you, one that you're most proud of?
Well, we talked a little bit earlier about the Stanley Cup wins. And that's something that, set up the goal in September as a group with 70-plus players. The general managers talk about winning the Stanley Cup, almost 10 or 11 months ahead. So to reach that goal is very special. And it's hard to pick one over the other. But the Stanley Cups, especially the long runs we had with some great teams, are very special to me.
And what kind of message are you hoping to, share with all the young athletes that will be at the Wespys this year?
You kind of broke up there, but I think the message would be to, first of all, be proud of what you're doing and take a lot of pride in it. And it's going to take a lot of hard work to get, to become a professional athlete or have success in sports. So really take care of yourself as being an athlete. And then I think the most important thing, you have to enjoy what you do. You have to have love. You have to really like what you're doing in sports to have success too.
All right, thanks, Josie. Nick, we have one more member of our local media, Bob Belichico, who is the sports director for CTV. Bob Belichico.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not bad. I've had the privilege of covering the Red Wings for years, and I've been through the runs. Recently, I was watching a video of Steve Yzerman's goal against John Casey back in 1996. Do you remember that goal?
Oh, I do remember that goal. I think it was a 0-0 tie in double overtime, it might have been with Steve.
Double overtime. It's just one of those moments that I look back and I go, wow, there has been some great moments. I know the Stanley Cup stick out. What's one of the greatest moments for you as a Red Wing?
If you break it down the way you did with Stevie's goal, it would probably be the last winding seconds of winning the cup in '97. I remember we won the game 2. We're up 2-0. Then they scored late to make it 2-1. and I was out on the ice with Vladimir Konstantinov, and just defending those last 6 or 7 seconds, clock winding down, and kind of being able to celebrate Mike Vernon in that moment. It's still, sticks in my mind still.
Real quick, what do you think of the state of the team now? Do you think they're heading in the right direction with the youth? And, I mean, we were so used to seeing this team make it to the playoffs year after year, 25 straight. It's been a struggle the last couple of years, but do you think the team's heading in the right direction with the youth?
I think they are. I think it has some good, young, great players with tons of potential. I think you've seen that here in the last little while, that they're starting to play better as a team, as a group. Player in their early 20s to step in and lead the team. You have to show up and work every day. You have to bring it every night. And after you've done it for a year or two, you know how good you are. You're not a surprise to anyone anymore. So players like Larkin, I think, still take steps where now all the teams know how good he is. So I like the progress of the team. I like the young players they have right there right now.
All right, one last one real quick. Moving forward, Stevie Yzerman, there's a lot of talk of him. I know you're good friends with him. Is he? Isn't he? Is he coming back? Do you have any inside scoop for us, the viewers?
Yes, it's just as good as mine. I'm not sure what's going to happen in Detroit. But, I think if you look back what Steve's done in Tampa, he's done a terrific job creating a competitive team and being able to sign some stars under the cap. So we'll see down the road what happens with Stevie.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for your time, and we'll see you when you come to Windsor.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Dominic Papa, the co-founder of the Wespy Awards.
Hi, Nick, and thanks for helping us out this morning. Appreciate it. And your name gets thrown into the names with Bobby Orr, with the greats of the game. Did you ever think that you'd be discussed with those type of players after your career was said and done?
No, not at all. No, I looked up to Bobby Orr. I never saw him play live, but I've seen some great films back in the day, and I met a few times, and I really admire him as a person and as a player, of course. So I have a hard time kind of putting my name next to his. I'm very happy when people do it, but it's hard for myself to kind of put my name next to his.
Detroit's, of course, one of the original 6 teams of the NHL, Nick. You got to spend your entire career there. Was it in any way that being in a city like that, one of the original 6, and a hockey passion city, did that help your career along in any way?
I think it did. I think, first of all, Mr. and Mrs. Illich, the owners of the Wings, they really have so much passion for the game, and they really want to win. So that was one of the main reasons I wanted to stay there my whole career. And the tradition with the team, the history that's behind it too. And if I look back at my 20 years there, we've had some great teams, some competitive teams. We've had a chance to win the Stanley Cup numerous times. We won it 4, I played in 6 finals. So I never wished to play anywhere else. I'm very proud to be able to say that up to 20 years with the Wings.
You've, of course, won Stanley Cups with the Wings, and you've won World Championships representing your country. Is there any way to put those, pick which one would be more important to you or more significant to you?
It's very hard to pick one or the other. Whether you're playing for your country or representing your country, you're able to win for your country, which is very special. But it's also special to play with the same team for a lot of years and play so many seasons and finally reach a goal. I'm having a hard time kind of looking which one is better or greater. I look at it as just as equal.
What do you think of the game of hockey today? You came in when there were still some tough guys around, and there's a little bit of more physicality. The emphasis is more on skill and skating now. The game today, compared to when you were, I guess, in your early days, is the game at its peak level right now?
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll try it again, Nick. You came into the league when there was still some physicality in the game of hockey, and that's not to say that there's not any checking at all, but there was certainly a few more fights back then. The game had a little more, I guess, of a physical punch to it. It's different today. Is the game in good shape? Do you think the game of NHL hockey is going in a good direction? Okay, maybe I'm losing Nick.
Or the had bad connection there. I couldn't hear that question.
Dom asked about the physicality of the game when you came into the league compared to the game now, which is more focused on skill and skating. How do you see the game comparison from back when you started until now?
I heard a little bit about comparing the league from when I joined and what it's the state of the league today. I see a lot faster league today. Kids are coming and being star players at a young age. Whereas when I joined, you had to spend a lot more years before you kind of considered a star. So I see the pace of the game is a lot faster today. It's not as much hitting, but the game is so much faster than back in the day when I joined. And with the salary cap and with the 23-man roster limit, you kind of faded some of the top players out, or some of the players that specialize in certain things. You have to keep guys on the roster that could play the game, but that could keep up with the pace too. And that's where the big differences nowadays for the speed of the game.
Well, with your 20 years in the league, I think I can speak for everybody in this room. We all think you're still a superstar. Thanks for joining us today, Nick, and we'll see you in April.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, guys. And
Okay.
I'll see you in the spring.
Thanks again,
Happy
everybody. That's
holidays.
Nick Lidstrom, and he will be our keynote guest for the 14th Annual Wespy Awards, April 15th, 2019 at the Kubota Club. The Wespy Awards will have future press conferences as we get closer to awards night, like our annual nomination breakfast and the announcement of the Volunteer of the Year recipient and Legacy Award recipient. Just go to www.thewespys.ca for updates and ticket information. Tickets for the 14th Annual Wespy Awards will be available in January. Once again, I'd like to thank Pat Morris and his sports management team for allowing us to have Nick Lidstrom, Eric Lidstrom, at our 14th Annual Wespy Awards. Sorry about the little trick there, folks, but I thought it was a good way to lead up to his stature. I want to thank everyone else for coming out today and all the viewers on We Digital for being a part of the big news of Nicholas Lidstrom, and I hope to see everyone in April. Have a great day. Bye for now.